Now then, people, it's Joe, All Leeds TV. Well, that was a bit boring, wasn't it, eh? What a game. First of all, I thought, from a fan perspective, from a Leeds fan perspective, it was just a great atmosphere today, even more so in the manner in which the goal was scored. A lot of people might not like this, but it really stoked the Leeds fans. And you know what? The game, the way it's panned out, yes, we didn't win the game, but it feels just as big. We needed a positive result, and as I've said, we didn't win the game. We only got a point, but ultimately, it showed the players are up for the fight. It's given me renewed optimism, and I hope it's done the same for the rest of the Leeds United fans. We can still do this. Listen, we played an Aston Villa side, a very good Aston Villa side that were undefeated in 11. They're now undefeated in 12, but ultimately, they'd won 10 on the spin. 10 on the spin, you know, the informed team in the Championship. And for me, arguably, you know, especially in the second half, but even before they went down to 10 men, we were the better side. They showed flashes early on. Conor, you know, Grealish got on the ball a few times. But ultimately for me, we were the better side. We were up for the fight. We bullied them. You know, I've seen Dean Smith come out and say stuff like Grealish needs protecting a lot more. Listen, he's a play actor. The guy was on the deck more than he was up on his feet. You know, there was one, I think it was the challenge from Cooper that Cooper gets booked for. It looked totally fine from where I was. It looked like a good challenge. But he gets a yellow for it. Obviously, I've not had the luxury of watching it, and I think people have said actually he deserved a yellow. But he was on the deck. When everyone starts remonstrating with the ref, he jumps back up all of a sudden. Then when the yellow's given, he hits the deck again. Do you know what I mean? And much like the goal, right? And I know a lot of people will disagree. But when Conor goes down, if Villa don't go down as much as they had done earlier on in the game, it's like the boy who cries wolf. Do you know what I mean? So we've continued to play, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on. First of all, obviously, the ref, Stuart Atwell, what a shocking game. He lost control early doors. He didn't want to give Leeds United nothing, and it felt for me he was partly to blame for the melee that ensued, because the Leeds players were up against it from the referee's perspective. We score the goal, rightly or wrongly. It then kicks off, and then obviously when Bielsa orders, you know, the team to go and let Villa score, Janssen doesn't want to do it, and a lot of it's due to the fact that they were getting a bad hand dealt to them by Stuart Atwell. I thought he had an absolute shocker. He lost control, but that's just my opinion, you know. And what summed it up perfectly was in the first half we were on a break. Ayling's in a dangerous position. And he's not like, I'm not talking at the halfway line, about to, you know, go into a break. We were on a break in a dangerous position, and he blew up. And that just said it all. It was everyone coming out at half time going, I can't believe he's just blown it up there. He had an absolute shocker. Every sort of 50-50 challenge, it was going Villa's way. There was one in the first half where Mings has gone to head the ball. It might have been in the second half. And he's headed the ball with so much, you know, pace and power. I thought him and that Tuzanabe, with the quality, I thought they were really good centre-backs, and they had some really good runners with the ball, dribblers, as we all know. You know, there was one, I think, in the first half where that Tuzanabe managed to make it all the way from centre-back position to the right corner flag, you know, in our own half. And yeah, they are very good on the ball, and they're good with the ball at the feet. But anyway, back to Mings. He's headed the ball, but because he's a player and he's hit the deck and the refs give a free kick, and it just wasn't a free kick. His momentum took him where it was. It was like any Villa player goes down, I'm gonna give a free kick. That's what it felt like at times. There was a yellow for he gave a yellow to Pablo, which was a blatant foul, fair enough. But then there was one not long after that he didn't even pull up or give a foul for. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, he just lost absolute control, and it made it an eventful game and a great watch for, I guess, people watching at home. But for me as a fan, it was just a really good game. And as I say, that what them Leeds players have done, and for the fans as well, the noise, and from the manner which we scored. When we scored that goal, I'm telling you, in the Kop, it was absolutely electric. There was flares going off. There was people on top of the seats. Me, one of them, getting well amongst it. And I think the fact that I think it was Hurahan had a go at Click after, and it all sort of went off in a melee, it just added to that for me as a Leeds fan. A lot of people will disagree with that, and say the way it went out, it's not right. But for me, it just stoked the fire. It stoked the players. I think Bielsa's probably done as a good thing in letting them score. In all honesty, a lot of you might disagree, but there'd have been nothing worse than going into the playoffs knowing that, you know, we'd sort of nicked one from Villa in terms of a mentality thing for them Villa players. I think giving them that goal, although really they didn't deserve it, keeps that on our side. I can see if we were to meet Villa in the final, that the players are going to be up for it now, massively up for it. You know. What a masterstroke as well. Here's one for you as well, which I couldn't get my head around during the game. KP on deliveries. I'm not saying he hasn't been able to deliver, but why has it took us 45 games to realise that we have someone there with a dead ball? Listen, I know Pablo's been, Alioski is half decent, but it was just good to see decent deliveries from set pieces coming from KP, and for me, he has to take set pieces moving forward. How many dangerous corners were there today that went past the first man or didn't go too far, as we've seen with Harrison, Harrison, Alioski, and even Pablo of late. Recently, it's like Pablo's forgotten how to take a dead ball. But for me, it was a revelation seeing KP on set pieces. Another revelation for me was Roberts on left wing. I thought Harrison was ineffective, has been in and out in terms of performance. He sort of splits opinion. Do we keep him or do we, there was a discussion had before on whether or not you take him on a permanent. For me, I'd take him back on loan, but as a squad player, I think we need further bodies in the door. But for me, what a revelation Roberts was at left wing. I thought when he got the ball, he looked dangerous. And we know he's got good feet. He almost scored, to be fair. I think it's Tyrone Mings who gets it off the line, and then I think Ayling has about maybe 2-3 bites at the cherry. One of them hits off Bamford, and that moves me on to Patrick Bamford. Poor game again. I'm getting sick and tired of these, lackadaisical performances. Sometimes he thinks he's got way much more time on the ball than he has. A lot of the time we move the ball quick, zip, and it goes into Bamford and it breaks down. Click and Pablo are playing fast balls into him, into the box, to his feet, and he's never controlling them. If you look, there was a chance, I think Pablo plays it in and it just bounces off him, and I remember turning and saying, look, he's never going to get that ball, he's never going to trap that ball, and that's not due to the poor ball, it's just because Bamford at the moment, I don't know if it's confidence or what, he just can't, he just doesn't seem to be at the races. If you compare that with, say, Roof earlier on in the season, Derby away, when he gets that ball for us and he sort of turns, that's the sort of thing that you need in them situations. And for me, I've seen afterwards that Roof will be fit for Ipswich. For me, you've got to make that change. Exactly the same lineup, either Dallas or Berardi at left backs. I thought they both did well there. I think Dallas has pulled up with a knock, but I thought in the first half he was having a good first half. And I was positive with the substitutions. I thought Roberts in for Harrison was a decent change, and I think the team that ended that game probably should start the next, bar Bamford. I said it in my post-match after Brentford. Tell me what he's brought to that side today. Tell me if you don't agree with me, because I know I'm not the only one. Do you know, there's certain situations where, so for example, like KP plays a cross-field ball, and the ball's gone over, but then he's made a step towards KP and then goes for it, and it's like, what you doing? I don't understand. And listen, I'm not a professional footballer. I don't know if he's suited to our style of play or what it is, but he just looks devoid of any confidence currently, and it's poor that I'm saying that, but I even put, like, for me, I would have liked to have seen Brown, and I know we keep banging this drum, not just me, a lot of fans, we're probably not going to see him, but he was on the bench today. And I just thought Bamford was having that poor of a performance for me. And if you don't agree, then let me know in the comments. But I just thought, why not bring Brown on? At that point, they're down to 10 men. And but let's get to the goal. I know that's what a lot of people will be watching this for. And a lot of people will give us stick for it. Media. We know what the media's like. They're going to absolutely batter us. And that's why I think Bielsa's done us a bit of a favour by letting them score. Whether or not you agree or disagree, he's probably done us a favour. We don't need to be stoking any team in the playoffs fire a little bit more. But yeah, look, a lot of it's due for me. A lot of it's due to the fact that Villa were on the deck so much that they've just continued to play. When it goes out to Roberts, I think he's got 3 players around. He does shape his body as though he's going to kick it out of play. And Villa do stop playing. And I think that's where the issue lies. For me, when it's played to Click, they switch back on, they're running at him, he's got to beat a defender and put it in the corner. For me, Click's just tunnel vision, I'm going for this goal. And I think there's a lot of unnecessary grief going towards Click. Just my opinion. I think the issue lies, and I'm not digging out Roberts and don't want anyone to go for Roberts, but I think that's where the problem was, because it did look like Roberts was about to kick it out of play and he just plays the ball through to Click. But listen, we scored the goal. And ultimately, there was no head injury. And you're well within your rights to do it. You're well within your rights to do it, and we were bouncing when we scored, and I'd have took it. And if we hadn't have given them a goal, I'd have took it 1-0, so what? Be on your way. It is what it is. But, listen, Bielsa being the just proud man that he is, and I think a lot of it's due to the fact that he just couldn't be arsed with all that negative stuff. I mean, John Terry of all people, trying to be the master of like fair play, giving it to Bielsa. I just thought it was absolutely ludicrous, the images I've seen of that. Bielsa telling him to go away and he's giving it, oh well, it's fair, mate. Oh, I don't even want to go there. I was going to say something there, but let's not. But yeah, JT, I don't know, John Terry, I don't know what you're even going on, mate. But yeah, and do you know what? When after the melee ensued, and they kick off, and I think it's Adoma that puts it in the back of the net. It was Pontus. I get why Pontus didn't want them to score. I touched on it previously. Ultimately, Pontus, they've had a brilliant performance. They probably feel like they've been robbed a lot of the time because the ref was far for Villa. I'm not saying it was just uneven. Anybody watching that game from a fan's perspective must agree the refs had a shocker. And I get why Janssen doesn't want him to score, because I think even Bielsa said he's put so much into the game that he's like, why should we just let them score? Ultimately, they didn't play to the whistle. And you talk from a kid. I'm taught from a kid. I don't even play at a decent level. I'm told, play to the whistle. Noel Whelan said it in after the game. It's like a boxer. Protect yourself at all time. Play to the whistle. But listen, Bielsa's probably done us a favour. They go up the other end, they score. It's 1-1. Fair enough. Now let's get back to the melee that ensued and El Ghazi sent off. At the time, everyone around me in the cup, it looked like El Ghazi had swung one on Bamford. There was a bit before, and it looked like he genuinely cracked him. Because we as fans, obviously, after we'd celebrated, we're all going, he hit him, he's hit him, you know. And it kicked off that much that we didn't even see the red card where we were, and we were looking at players, and it looked like they'd had 2 sent off. Just because of the raptures everyone was in. You get lost in the moment, you then focus back on the game. We're counting bodies. There's only 8. We'd assumed 2 had been sent off, but then Jedinak came on. I think there'd been a substitution during that melee, and Jedinak comes on, so it was just the one. El Ghazi gets sent off. Now, I come out of the ground and everyone's saying, Bamford, what a shocker. And I'm like, yeah, he's not poor. Yeah, I mean, sorry, he was poor, he didn't have a great game. Turns out this swung arm didn't connect, and I've seen it myself since, and it didn't. And it doesn't look great, and if it was for an opposing team, we'd be all saying the same. And yeah, but that's my, I'm not going to touch on it further. If it happened to us and one of our players gets sent off, then you would look to appeal the red card, and I think it might get rescinded. But I'm more concerned at Bamford's performances in a whole than this red card situation. It was great to see the midfield, Forshaw playing in his correct position, Click playing well again. KP was absolutely unreal. There's memes going round now. He had Jack Grealish in his back pocket. I said to you earlier, Dean Smith's come out and said, he was getting kicked, we should protect these players. Mate, he's on the deck more than any player in this league half the time. Don't get me wrong, he's got bags of talent, and you can see that, and you can see why, it's no coincidence that he's coming to that Villa side and they've won 10 on the bounce, but Phillips negated him today. And Phillips is in the team of the season for a reason, and that's what job he does. I think if Forshaw plays there, it's a different game. But Phillips was there and he absolutely negated any threat that Grealish had. You know, there was once where when he's gone running through as well, and Pontus has gave away a foul, but he matched him yard for yard. I thought Pontus was great again, back to himself, and it was great to see him buzzing after the game when they did the lap of honour. He lapped it up with his little Bernie. It was quality to see. But that midfield today was class. Yes, I really like Roberts, but I'd much rather see Roberts on the wing, on the left wing, instead of Harrison, and have that midfield trio. I thought they were immense today. And as I say, Roberts came off the bench and almost scored. I think Mings cleared it off the line, who I thought was brilliant, and you can see why they're doing as well as they are, because the two boys at centre back for Villa were very, very good. You know, and you can, for me, they'd be up there with the best in the league, and that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, I just think today, just to wrap it up, for the fans, the players, it was massive. And we've gone out there. Yes, we've not won the game, but it feels positive. Social media, not that has any bearings whatsoever, but a lot of people are positive. It's give me and hopefully everyone watching this renewed optimism. We can do this now. We can do this. I was really nervous leading up to the game, thinking if we get beat, if we're on the end of a hiding or we get beat by Villa today, it's not going to be great for our playoff credentials, our playoff hopes. Now you look at it differently. Listen, only West Brom have beat us. Only West Brom in a one game, and we know what happened in the second game. We absolutely tore them a new one. But only one team has actually took 3 points of us in the top 6. You know, you're going even Derby, or you might have Borough. You know, you've got West Brom and Villa. You know, so it was massive today. It's done loads for our confidence. And loads for me as a fan. It's reinvigorated me. Yes, we all wanted to go in the top 2, but there's no better way to do it than Wembley. And I'm not saying that we are going to do it now. If everyone will say, if you were given the option, if you could guarantee going up at Wembley or top 2, you'd take Wembley all day. So the dream's still alive, you know, it can still be our time, and I'm just really, really buzzing after that performance. I thought we bossed it. We bossed it. I genuinely did. I thought they started well, but, you know, we came into the game, and second half we were class. We turned the screw, and I think even if they keep 11v11, we still get a positive result out of it. We still get a positive result. But I'm absolutely buzzing and just glad. The performance-wise, we've turned a corner after the poor Easter weekend that we have, and I've got my Ipswich ticket, so I'm going down there next week as well, so I'm looking forward to that, and then bring on the playoffs, whoever it may be, Derby or Borough. We can do this, man. It's still our time. I'm absolutely buzzing, and I know you guys are too. You've let me know so on social media, but keep the faith. We're going to still do this, man. It's still our time. And thank you for tuning in. And make sure you tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football live. It's back, 9:30, jobby. And also make sure you check out Conor and Oscar's review. Thank you so much, guys. Come on, man. Leeds!